Hi guys, nice to see you again. Now, we are at that really exciting stage in our country where science and technology plays a huge role in determining who we are and what we can do. Now, my guest for today received the prestigious Merdeka Awards for her contribution in the field of science and technology. Her name is Professor Dr. Halimaton Hamdan. My name is Syed Farradino Omar and you are watching in person. Now, over the last year, Prof. Halimaton has been seconded to MOSTI as the head of the National Nanotech Directorate. So that it's in that capacity that she's here at this R&D exhibition done by MOSTI. And she's just there over there, so I'm going to go and say hello to her. Assalamualaikum, Prof.
Waalaikumsalam.
Hi, Prof. Nice to see you.
Good to see you.
Prof. Thank you so much for spending some time for us.
Yeah.
Now, we are here. Tell us what we're doing here.
Well, here this is one of the exhibition put up by Ministry of Science, Technology, Innovation. Actually, this exhibition is a showcase where the ministry is trying to show to the public what is the outcome of the R&D and the development, product development that have been done and been funded by MOSTI over the years. So you can see here most of the products are exhibited by the agencies under MOSTI.
Right, and you can see there's a lot of things that's happening here. Come, let's walk and we can take in the entire exhibition as we walk along. Now, but let's just go back to the very reason why I'm talking to you here today. It's because you received the Merdeka Award for your work in R&D nonetheless.
Yes.
Now, why would a professor in the field of chemistry be deemed suitable to receive such a prestigious accolade?
Well, I think I must correct you. Actually, it's not because of R&D. It's more on the science.
On the science
I'm
itself,
working.
right.
Because, of course, when you do science, you have to do research, right? And throughout the years I've been doing research, the idea of doing research is trying to find answers to problems or solutions to issues that have been being faced by our country or by the people. So, I guess I've been recognized for the work that I've done over the years, especially in the field of chemistry. Because you can say, what on earth is not chemistry? Everything is chemistry. You can see now our chemistry is good, right?
yes. We're doing okay.
So we're doing okay. So I've been in the university for 30 years, right? So when I started in the university, of course, besides teaching, we have to do research. And through research only we can come up with discoveries, new products and development that will help to improve our life in the future.
Right, I see. So tell us about your field of work. I mean, okay, fine. You teach at the university, but right now you've got so many other things going on at the same time. You're now, the head of the Nanotech Directorate as well. So it's a lot of food happening on one plate. Tell us about
come to think of it, time flies so fast actually, because it's been 30 years since I've been a university academic. And after some time, after you've done research, you've done teaching, you see many of your students come out, they work, and now some of them are very successful in their life. You feel that some part of your life you want to contribute directly to the public. So this opportunity came to me when I was asked to lead this Nanotechnology Directorate for the country, because nanotechnology is very close to what I'm doing so far, because chemistry is part of nanotechnology as well. And I've been involved with the Nanotechnology Initiative for Malaysia for more than 5 years, since it was initiated by our Prime Minister way back in 2005. So now that the country wants to have this nanotechnology initiative as an official program for the country, so they sort of offered this opportunity for me to lead this nanotech directorate.
So why the emphasis and why the added interest in nanotech?
Well, nanotech is the technology of the 21st century.
It is, It is a buzzword. It is a sexy word right now.
It's not a sexy word. It's not a buzzword. It is reality.
Okay.
Because it's about the convergence of the sciences. Because now we have been doing science, the different aspects of science, chemistry, physics, biology, but what is happening now is that these sciences converge to become one science, which we call it nanotechnology, because it happens at the nano scale. What is nano? Is 1 to 100 nanometer. It's very small actually. You take a strand of your hair, it's 80,000 times smaller than a strand of your hair. That is nano, right?
Yeah.
So, and the other advantage of nanotechnology is that at that scale, you come out with new things, discoveries that come out with new properties, something better, lighter, that you can't see, but it has tremendous impact on our life.
Right, I see.
So that's why we have to...
So this is literally going back to the fundamentals.
Yes, definitely we have to go back to the fundamental.
Right,
yes,
I see.
That's right.
And it was your discovery that basically led to the Merdeka Awards for you with the Maerogel. It's really exciting, even if you read up about it. So many possibilities. Talk to us about some of the applications known that can use Maerogel in our daily lives that you have seen happening right now.
Yeah, because if you look around today, what is our main issue in our life? You know, the environment is about energy. Energy, right? So every day we are trying to think of what can we do to improve our life. One is to try to save energy, right? If we want to be better in our life, we have to try and save energy. So that is one of the applications of Maerogel, because it is one of the best insulation material. So if we can use Maerogel in, material for our construction, for the house, for glass, for windows and so on, it will insulate our buildings and reduce the cost of energy that is being used up.
Right, I see. So it's a very practical application.
Yeah,
to
definitely.
It. Now, I read previously that your challenge since the discovery of the Maerogel, or rather not since you actually made that wonderful leap with Maerogel, is to actually commercialize it and to export it and make Malaysia world famous for it.
Yes.
Where are we with that right now?
Yeah, well, actually that is the dream of any researcher.
Of course.
All scientists wants to come up with something, discover something new, and then wants to see the people use it tomorrow.
Yeah.
But the reality is, it doesn't happen like that, because there's a lot of things involved. When you are doing research in science, you come up with the discovery, the idea, then you have to realize that idea before it can even go into the market, right? So that's like 3 or 4 stages after your lab scale, right? You have to upscale it, and then you have to prove the concept, you have to test your product.
Suddenly you're no longer just a scientist.
You have to become a business woman as well, as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, so, and then you have to convince the public, the consumers, that this product is good and is applicable to your life. It's not easy, because in Malaysia, our society, we are still not ready for the commercialization part.
Okay, I'm going to stop you there because we have to go for a short break. I'm going to let that thought simmer for a bit. Remember what Prof just said, and when we come back, we're going to go deeper into that. So stay with us on In Person. Come, Prof, let's walk.
Isnin hingga Jumaat, Sukan Awani bersama
saya Ian Johan Arif, saya Syamil Izzuan Azizan, bersama saya Zuhail Mizan Azam, saya Anakin bersama saya Fazli Aziz. Memaparkan perkembangan sukan antarabangsa dan tempatan, kejayaan atlet dan isu semasa dalam dan luar negara.
Sukan Awani, Isnin hingga Jumaat 3 kali sehari, hanya di Astro Awani, berita segenap dimensi.
Setiap Selasa hingga Jumaat, Primawara Ramadan membawakan
Kenapa semua takut dengan Tok Imam?
Geng Mengaji.
Aku rasa nak bilang, ada dah.
Ya, Jin. Ya, syaitan, Wajib.
Tam tekilan sangatlah, Bang.
Kami dah berjanji yang kami akan hidup bersama.
Ni anak yang tak guna ni.
Deru Ombak. Segala yang menarik buat tatapan anda Ramadan ini hanya di Astro Prima.
Okay, we're back, and then I hope the thought has simmered in your head for a bit and thought about what Prof has just said. Now, there's a lot that you want to say about this. I know, I can feel the energy, the chemistry here.
Right.
Tell us, talk to us about some of the key challenges that you faced in doing this.
Okay, first, when you want to commercialize your product, of course you have to protect it.
Okay.
Then you have to go through the process of this applying for patent, right? Once you've already protected it, then you're safe in the sense that you can safely feel that if anybody comes out with your product tomorrow, you can do something about it.
Okay.
That you're proven that it's yours. Then the next is you want to, before you go for the commercialization stage, you have to have this scale up, as you say, right? So you have to bring your product out of the lab and build a bigger plant so that you can prove to the world that, okay, I've got this product that can be extended further beyond the lab scale.
You have to show it's a working model.
Yeah, it's a working model, right? That will take some kind of, now you have to go beyond as a researcher, because you have to start designing the plants, you have to start designing the process. Because in chemistry, for example, when you do it in the lab, it's not necessarily be transferred outside.
Correct.
And because from 1 gram to 100 gram will be a totally different story.
Yeah.
Then that's the challenge. Once you've done that, then okay, now you have to go to the next stage, which is how you want to prove to the world again that your product is good. So you have to test the product, right? Where is it going to be applicable? Because the application is in another side. So you have to have all this product, you have to send it out to the potential buyers, the potential people who are going to apply them, and they will have to use your product and then test it and say, okay, good, it meets all the specification. Then the next step only, then you have to go for the commercialization before that pilot plant stage.
Yep.
And all that involves money.
Money, yep.
Right? And so you have to go and find funders who are going to invest in your...
And we know that it's so easy to find investors who wants to invest on something that's Malaysian.
Yes, yes.
So the two key aspects here that one should consider is money and mentality.
Mentality,
Okay.
yes. And also the market. Because, you're going to supply this product and you have to make sure that there will be people who would like to buy this product.
But
right?
based on what you have seen yourself, I mean, you've been, basically the person who did the work and also the person who sells it.
Yeah.
How's the take-up rate? How interested are the people in what you have done?
Well, the people are very interested in what I've done. Yeah, but because the product is not only applicable in Malaysia, it is for the global market. But again, as I told you, that the capacity of us to provide the product, to supply it, again, that's another question. It's again involve money. So we really have to attract investors who's willing to put money in your project and who's very confident in what you are doing. Because, at the end of the day, they are talking about the profit, the dollars and cents.
Of course, it's always about that at the end of the day.
So
no, that's a lot. I mean, you've developed yourself, not just your product, but yourself, from being just that pure scientist to a lot more. So it must take a lot to actually get you going. Talk to us a little bit about the journey that you've made from that 30 years ago to where you are now. What's your motivation? Who motivates you? What moves you?
Well, I guess it's I'm a born what do you call it, people who want to achieve something. I would like to do different things every day. So since I was in school, I'm very active in everything because I would like to try new things. Then when I choose science as my field, I have to do things to show people that science is not a boring subject. Because today we see that the interest in science among the young is now really declining.
Yeah.
Why? Because scientists are stereotyped. When they think that you are a scientist, you should look like this, you should walk like that, you should eat this and things like that. And I'm totally opposite of what they think a scientist should be, right? So I like to do things besides just doing research. You are a creative person because as a scientist you have to be creative, right? And you have to develop both brains, the arts and the science together, because through that only you can achieve what you want actually.
Well, the very story of how you came up with the Maerogel itself was very creative. Apparently you were watching TV and you discovered that there's silica in rice cast. I mean, I was reading about the articles about your discovery, and the comments down below were very enlightening. A lot of people from everywhere in the world were so surprised that you found silica in rice cast.
Yes.
So
actually I was desperate at that time.
there you go. And an
because
acknowledgement from a scientist. She was desperate at the time.
Yeah, because sometimes when you are doing research, this we call it as a death valley in business.
Right,
People say it. In research also there's a threshold where after coming back from overseas, I did my PhD in Cambridge, you know, so Cambridge, so you can imagine how you want to transfer what you have in Cambridge to Malaysia. And I wanted to set up my own lab in the things that I'm doing. And what I've been doing in my research is more silica based. So I was trying to look for the source of silica. And during that time in the 80s, it's not easy to get silica because the commercial ones are so expensive. So it so happened that I was watching TV one evening over the news, and they were talking about, the Malaysia is having this problem with these rice hulls being burnt, you know, and it's causing a lot of environmental problem and things like that. Yeah. And so I was thinking, what is that white stuff doing? You know, it must be silica. So can I use that for my research? So that's what started it.
So when was this?
That was in 1990, something like that.
Right. Okay.
After I just got back from UK.
Cambridge.
Yes,
right. I see. So it was that, you know, from watching an incident television program, you know, where you were at a dead end, you discovered.
Yeah. And during that time, I didn't have any idea whether that will work or not. Right. So, you know, I just went and go and find the rice
But
hulls.
that's what being creative is all about, isn't it?
Right. Yeah. And I'm so surprised that it turns out that the silica that comes out from the rice hulls is the most active silica source.
Brilliant.
Ever.
Well, that's good news. That's definitely good news. Okay, we have to go for another short break right now. Let's go get some air outside.
Okay.
When we come back, we'll ask more questions to Prof. Halimaton. So stay with us.
Rasa unik ayam digandakan dengan double GCB, 2 keping paha ayam digrill, salad segayang rangup, sos sala yang menyelerakan, dan roti bijan yang gebu. Untuk masa terhad, dapatkannya pada McValue Lunch dan McValue Buka Puasa bersama kentang goreng dan minuman ringan hanya dari RM9.95. Keunikan GCB dan double GCB hanya di McDonald's.
Apa yang kita ingat dari kenangan-kenangan yang terekam oleh kita? Nama tempat, nama permainan, nama teman, atau kejadian. Adalah hal-hal yang mungkin lambat laun bisa terlupa, tapi tidak dengan rasa.
Santai Citra membawakan seleksi filem-filem hebat Isnin hingga Jumaat 1 petang hanya di Astro Citra dalam pakej Mustika.
Telefon untuk melanggan, sila ke saluran 130 untuk pratonton Mustika.
Okay, we're back and we're still with Prof. Halimaton. It's the last segment already. Now, I guessed wrong because I figured that she's probably like around, you know, fairly young. But apparently, according to Prof, next year is the year that you're going to retire. You spent a year as the head of the Nanotech Directorate. You spent 30 years with the university. You've spent X number of years being engrossed in the field of science and technology. What can you say about the journey that you've had so far?
Well, it's been very exciting. I can say that. Every part of the journey is a lesson for me. You know, it's a learning progress for me. And until today, in fact, today I'm learning something new, you know, through this interview and things like that. It's so exciting because every morning when I wake up, I am very grateful to Allah that I'm alive today to witness what is happening. And I hope that I will be alive in the next 10 years, at least to see Malaysia 2020, because I really want to see where is Malaysia is in 2020. So now that, you know, I've been through the process of developing myself as an academic, I've done research, and then now I'm heading this National Nanotech Directorate. Hopefully, the outcome of what my effort is will be an impact to the country in the next few years. And the next thing I'm looking forward to is my product to be at a commercialization scale.
To be out there in the market, to be used,
in the market, yes.
Yeah, we were talking earlier during the break, we were talking about some of the more practical applications, and the possibilities are limitless.
Yes.
There's so many things that you can do. Now, I think that's great. And I know a lot of Malaysians that actually follows your work would think that's great too. So to a lot of us, you are an unsung hero.
Unsung heroine.
Unsung heroine. That's right. Now, but would you say that, having won an award, you want more? And by saying more, the only bigger award I could think of is the Nobel Prize. Would that be something that you look forward to, or if it comes, it comes?
Well, I think for a scientist, of course, the ultimate is to win a Nobel Prize. But actually, it's not really the Nobel Prize, the winning the Nobel Prize. It's achieving the standards of a person or a scientist who win a Nobel Prize. That is more important. Because when you are a scientist, you want to do research. At the end of the day, you want the outcome of your work, the impact. It's tremendous impact to the society. That's what Nobel Prize is all about. Doing research, coming out with something which is beneficial to mankind. So, as all the other scientists, I think that's why I want to see the outcome of my work benefit mankind one day.
Right.
And not only through research, because through being a lecturer, university professor, I've seen the outcome today. I've, hundreds of my students now, they are very successful in their life, and from time to time, I get people calling me, walking by and say, "Prof, I was your student way back, I don't know them, but I'm happy." And some of them are already professors themselves.
Wow.
So, so I've got like 3 or 4 professors already who are my students. So, I'm very, very happy. And I'm also very happy. Recently, I found out that one of my students actually is a minister of the country today.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So, it's great. Because he told me, he said, "You taught me chemistry when I was in UTM." So, it was really
the things that I would assume that these are some of the things that actually keeps you going.
Yes.
It's this impact that you have not only through your work, but through your work with people.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
But what about for yourself? What are your own personal aspirations?
Well, of course, now I have 2 sons, I've told you, and both of them have been very successful academically. And I would like to see them successful in their life as well. And hopefully, one of these days I will see them mushrooming, even though they are not in science, but they are practicing science, because in schools they learn science. And my aspiration is that the young, they should look forward to their future, doing it, making things for themselves, not like I'm worried that our society now is more like adapting other people's technology, using other people's product. So why not we develop our own technology, and one day we can be proud that the car that we are driving is truly Malaysian car. As an example.
So that's something that you definitely look forward to.
Yeah.
But in the shorter run, 2012 is not too far away, i.e. retirement age is not too far away. Does that mean that's the end, that's the last we will hear of Professor Dr. Halimaton Hamdan, or will you still be out there pushing the boundaries, pushing the limits?
No, definitely that's not the last of me, because I would like very much to be into business. I would like to look...
the business bug has got to you.
The business part of commercialization of my product. And then, of course, there you can see the downstream development of new product, the application and things like that. So I'm learning about business bit and bit. It's not an easy field to be in, actually. Because in science, we trust everybody. But in business, you cannot trust anybody. So this is the first thing that I learned about
business. Right, okay. Good. I'll remember that. I'll definitely remember that.
And also, there'll be a lot of promotion work that I have to do also to market, marketing. So that means now, I'll be a freelance motivator. Talk to the school, to the young generation, which I'm doing a lot now. Since I won the Merdeka Award, for example, last year alone, I gave 20 public lectures last year alone. So because from time to time, people will invite me and talk about my research, talk about my journey, talk about science, and about nanotechnology, of course. So, these are things that I think will excite me in the future.
That sounds really good. Well, we can only wish you the very best of luck. Prof, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Let me wish you in advance Selamat Hari Raya to you and to your family.
Selamat berpuasa.
Selamat berpuasa and Selamat Hari Raya. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You've been with me, Syed Farradino Omar, and I've been with Professor Dr. Halimaton Hamdan, a recipient of the prestigious Merdeka Award, and a lady who clearly has a great idea and she wishes to work on it, and we wish you the best of luck on that as well. You've been watching In Person and we'll be seeing you again soon. Take care.